So at this point, I've started cleaning up my side of the street, and it's time to take some further action. Action, action, action. If all I'm doing is sitting in a room and not doing things outside, I have nothing to offer this program. Steps 8 and 9 are not anything too difficult, except for up here. I don't know if anybody else can relate to that, but it seems like it's going to be a scary deal until I start doing it. And I like the progress that AA has made over the years that instead of being just entirely ready, I can kind of do it in stages. I can realize that there are some people I need to make amends to. There are some people I want to make amends to. There are some people I probably should make amends to and might do that. And there are some people that need some amends, but those they're never going to get it if you ask me. It's progress, not perfection. So why wait? Why hold off on trying to get better? Um, I don't want to do that. And it's nice that it talked about the 12 and 12, these different progressions of readiness, and that I can write these down and start making my amends. To me, it doesn't say in this book anywhere that I should say I'm sorry. Um, I kind of look at the work I've done at this point, and I also think of it from other people's perspective, or at least my own, I guess. Um, we all have, well, if you're not sure of this, look back at your resentment list. And with my resentment list, I can ask myself this: if those people, if I didn't do my fourth column, they really did do something that deserved for me to be mad or upset or resentful at them. What would I like them to do in order to make amends and to try to repair that bridge? That I was pretty good at burning my bridges. So I look at it kind of backwards. Okay, and in step 5, I got all my answers. I was selfish, dishonest, inconsiderate, and fearful. You know, the best thing to do I have found is kind of be really general as far as those statements go. Don't get too specific. Uh, Short and sweet can be best. Uh, not to clear my conscience at somebody else's expense. I'll use my son's mom as an example. As when I was trying to make amends to her, I probably talked a little bit more about specifically what I was doing rather than the harm I was causing. If I said, "Hey, I was selfish, I was inconsiderate, I lied to you, and I acted out of fear a lot, and that was wrong of me," I could have left it at that and said, "You know what? God willing, I'm not that person today. I want to do better. I want to have a relationship with you, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make amends." Now, see, I've got to stop and ask for forgiveness, really. Not, can you forgive me? Sure, anybody could forgive me. Not, forgive me. Not force that issue upon them, but put it in their lap, so to speak. Don't play God. Remember, our book says that. Is, will you forgive me for the harm that I have caused you? And mean it. Uh, I can say this, that there will be some actual um, repairing after that point. We didn't get sick overnight. We're not going to get everybody better overnight. Um, with her, it was helping to take care of her while she was dealing with cancer. It was being a father to my son. It's being, a friend to some of my friends that I was abandoning. It's letting people be who they are. Uh, I still have amends to make. I haven't done them all. And I think that there's two schools of thought on making amends. When God puts these people in your life, that's when you need to make amends. That's a great tool, and I believe that for newcomers, definitely for new people, first time making amends. Look back at your list and watch who God puts in your life first, and cross those people out as you go. Um, Also, too, there's the direct, going out and making amends. You know, if you read the big book, it talks about being cautious. It talks about being considerate. I've dealt with that. I have an ex boss who I don't know if I should even go to his work because of my past and my history. And I saw him out one time. You know, he's with his family, and I'm with some members of AA. And I'll admit, I probably was ready, but I wasn't physically ready. It was late at night. I was tired, and I felt like, okay, you know, I'm not going to make amends to someone right there at dinner. You know, they're having their dinner. We're having our dinner. I'm willing. I just didn't feel right. You know, God help me. What do I do? Um, we got into a discussion about that. You know, I had previously wrote him a letter. Don't know if he received it, but I could tell there was some genuine care in his voice. You know, I acted very prideful, like he owed me something. He gave me a job, man. You know, it was a fun job too. It was a great time in my life, and I guess I was like Bill Wilson in the sense that I always, you know, was trying to be this big businessman or whatever. You know, and I felt so bad inside that I was looking for something to fill that up. You know, I'd like to just sit down, you know, and do that face to face. And I think that there's some tactfulness. There's some, you know, you do it one on one, make it a real personable experience. Also, be ready. You know, there was another ex boss of mine who I just flat out quit going to because I was doing drugs and I was lying to him, and you know, he knows my story more than you know most people. I didn't have to give him my inventory about it. But I saw him. I stopped. He was supposed to be in the East Coast, and here he is back in the Midwest all of a sudden. And it was just time. And you know, I think I was emotional. I didn't even get it out, and he understood. It's cool, you know. And let me say this, you know, I think what we're scared of is somebody will reject us. You know what? If they do, you don't need them in your life, and you did your best. It's all you can do. Don't make it worse. Just talk about what I did. You know, that's all. I don't need to. You know, if someone's not loving, caring, compassionate, forgiving, I don't necessarily need them in my life, or maybe they're just not ready. You know, the harm we've done takes time to forgive. Time heals wounds for normal people, not for somebody like me. But I believe for normal people it does. And, you know, we have to allow them to come to some sort of you know, a middle of the road point, you know, on their own terms. You know, that's how I don't play God, is by telling them you need to forgive me and that. There are people I will probably never see, but there's been a lot that I have, you know, and it's amazing how having both tools, the going out and being willing to do this, um, really works. You know, I could almost give you a formula, you know, in a sense that, you know, it's admitting my wrongs, it's talking about my side of the street, it's asking for forgiveness, not demanding it, and putting it in their hands and letting them do with it what they will. And then at that point, it's gone. You know, again, it's getting all this out here. It's, you know, they say don't come up here without a friend and a flashlight. Well, that friend sometimes is God. And that those flashlights can be a pen and paper. And it's nice that I can call people or sit down with them. You know, that's what the great thing about having sponsors are, really, is that we can do that. You know, any good sponsor isn't there to criticize you. He's there to help you analyze yourself. Um, it may seem like that at first. Believe me, I know. I'm trying to, you know, even now I try to tell people the truth, whether they want to hear it or not. Try to do it with some love and compassion. That's what people did for me. You know, but at this point, you know, I've done a lot, and it's really a miracle that someone like me hasn't had to take a drink and is trying to clean up my side of the street. Um, because for years all I did was burn bridges. You know, now I'm trying to repair some of those bridges. Some of those bridges don't necessarily need repaired, or you know, at least not right now. God is the decider, all in His time, not mine. You know, I think that's a better answer than give time time. It's not in my time; it's in God's time. And to Him, a day is like 1,000 years, or 1,000 years is like a day. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I've read that somewhere. So don't be afraid of these two steps. Um, you know, make progress, and you'll find this is actually one of the most rewarding things you can do, especially after every one you get to cross off. And once you get a little momentum, man, it feels great. One other thing is, I do like the note card idea. I got a piece of paper, but man, you know, guy was talking about note cards, and that's what I really need to do. Is just have a note card. Boom, over here are all my amends I need to make, and figure out how to do that. Um, you know, many of you might be saying, "Well, what if I forgot them on my fourth and fifth step?" You know, guess what? There's a 10th step. I did too. Uh, I was still pretty badly burnt from the drugs and the drinking that I had done. You know, that doesn't mean that I'm going to have to get drunk over this. I have another tool. And even before that, even before I started really making too many amends, you know, I really had to dive in with continuated inventory. You know, that was the point I was at, because it felt good to get it off of here. Uh, I don't know about you. I did any of you. That's why I did drugs, was to feel good, to feel better. Now I do AA to feel better.